go. Hello, this is Pixie doing another video. Welcome back and stuff like that. Yeah, so I've been doing lots of AI stuff, as you know, some of the videos, which is quite good actually. It's quite good, brings things to life. And also when you kind of do research, I can talk about it, but sometimes it's nicer to see some sort of reenactment, graphics and stuff. And I can also see it by the views as well. And it could even be, because of some of the things I've talked about, is there's algorithms are set up. So there may be some anti ones that work against me because of some of the stuff I've produced over the years. Not that it's extreme, but it's kind of, it has to fall in these tighter and tighter guidelines. Like going on about medical stuff and all these sorts of things. I don't think there's anything really particular. I've gone too deep. I've made more reference to myself and generalised and sort of holistics, but because of legal stuff, you have to talk in a particular way. And even if you had a degree in some sort of holistic science, there might be such strong restrictions around it. Like, I can talk about this, but I can't talk about that. Or I can only talk about it as a therapist, an alternative therapist or something. Which means it's kind of like you would use them if your main one didn't work, basically, the alternative. So it's it's a shame, but it's an industry that's built around everything nowadays. And data is the main thing, free speech, and industry is being built around that. What you can say, like I say, on YouTube, social media channel, other things like X and so on. X has got the freedom of speech, but it might be used just to sort of analyse people's behaviour. It might be used in different ways. It might be used to feed it into AI research or something like that. Quite possible. So I've been experimenting with some AI. I've done a few different projects. There's the music one, which was quite interesting. That was a free tool that's out there. I could just knock a load of music out, and it was pretty good. Pretty good fun. And also I could kind of tailor it to my interests. So with the problem with some music, it might be all lovey-dovey or a particular niche or way it's sort of being put together. Excellent. So compete for lanes. So I've got a new gizmo in the car I'm trying out as well. That's a new holder. So it uses the mirror in the car. So it can plonk itself directly in the middle. Problem is, if it's on the car's body, it tends to pick up a lot more vibration, and it sort of transfers into noise and stuff, and also getting the right angle. I mean, the other one I had, it sort of clicked into the air vents and things like that. So it was okay, but it wasn't great. This one's a lot better. I can angle it around a lot more, and I could be filming myself, but just finished work and I'm in uniform, so I'm just going to film road. It's probably a lot more easier. And plus you wouldn't see anything because it's dark inside my car, so all the lights on the outside. So yeah, Suno was quite good for like music. I mean, I've got a mate who's sort of putting up some music together using it. It depends really. I mean, some of it is the case of how far you're willing to go with something like AI. And it's probably worth doing it before they start bringing out licenses and other systems in place, because when something's new initially, it's quite open to see. It's kind of like it's being tested, and they want to see how far this test can go, and does it compete, and can you use it at this level, and so on. So it's a bit more open. And then somebody, if it was threatened, might start raising concerns, like a company or something. And then there'll be sort of legal frameworks that's coming out, and that's, I think, what all happens to all industries. So it's just they want some control. The system wants control. And there's a lot of stuff on social media that's well, there's lots of stuff that's been like used propaganda to mislead people a little bit and redirect them. Like all this stuff that's happened with this stuff that happened to these young children. I've just got to be careful how I sort of use the language I use, and the civil unrest that kind of popped out of that, and then it's been stoked up in other places, and then there was kind of like, well, we've got to create two sides, so we're not going to, so it's kind of like sidestep government. We'll set it up so that people criticise a left and a right, and we make it about certain differences, cultural differences between groups, and try to get the most extreme of one and the other. They did try some other things as well, so it ends up just kind of like muddying the water, and it's just a bit of a mess. But they're looking at other things where they may say, well, they're trying to clear out prisons so they can stick more people in them. I'm surprised they haven't. I'll tell you what the biggest threat they could do: putting people in the army or doing some kind of sentence in a way where they have to do some military service or something. That would scare people. And I don't mean just from, there's a kind of refer to some as natives to this place. Anyone sort of, if they're willing to act in a kind of a certain manner, then maybe that can be controlled and used in some way. Maybe that's what they need, is just systems of control in place. I saw something unusual the other day, and this is to do like gender stuff as well, and it could be a lot of things. But I saw a person with a beard, and he was smoking a fag, and he had some headphones on, but he was also wearing a dress. And it's just unusual, because I'm thinking, I just had to sort of, I didn't say anything, I just had to process it. It just seems sort of odd in one way, but maybe this is more common. And also, what does he actually represent? It's kind of like it's almost like it feels like it's for attention, like it's dressing up in a particular way. I'll wear and do things to gain attention, but it's his identity. It's a bit confusing. I wonder what his parents think, and also how the person refers to themselves. And might say, "Oh, well, I'm fluid," because I read about it online. It's kind of like, well, you can pretend whatever you like to be. That's kind of the social mask we wear. It's only that we live in a society that's more tolerant. You can get away with a lot more. Otherwise, if it was time travel and put him somewhere, it might get a lot of hassle. Depends which part of history or time, or it might be accepted. In certain cultures, it might be accepted wearing a kind of like skirt type thing. Or something else might happen to it, who knows? It might be sort of read as some sort of a fetish, because, it's only because of the way we've constructed society nowadays. Some things weren't really considered a real relationship or a real kind of romance or intimacy. It's just like a play thing. Put it behind closed doors, that's what happened. So I don't know, it's just the way things are, it's just different. I've got to be so careful around here. This is a place where people get run over. Every so often somebody gets hit by a car and killed around it. Because it's so dark, they just walk across the road and run across the road. I think just because they're there, that a car can instantly see and respond to them. Anything kind of unusual. So I've got the AI. I've got a lot of books that I've been working on as well. So I'll probably get a paperback of it and be looking at that. And I'll show you the paperback books. I just got to work on a bit, because the thing is, you can put something into Amazon Kindle, that's you can read it like PDF sort of file type. But if you want to put a book together, it's got to be a certain amount of pages, certain sizes, it's got to be a certain layout. You know, you can't be like a little magazine. And then because of this production costs and stuff, you have to increase the price. I mean, I've done it, so I've increased the price, but I've also made sure that the people that produce the book get a lot out of it, basically. Because it's not about greed. I mean, if it helps to spread the word in essence, or project it out there. And there's some interesting stuff. So I've covered some different countries. I've covered different regions because it's quite interested in missing people and kind of the odd occurrences around that. I've broadened it into a bit more the human realm as well, so like crime and gangs and cults and all sorts of things like that. Because there's a human element in the background. You know, some things are written off as being other things simply because people just kept poor records, basically. They just wanted to hide things, I guess. It's always a strange bit because the lanes they do turn into one, they do merge, but they are sort of separate lanes, and sometimes vehicles don't bother. They sort of try to squash into one lane from the start. So what I've done is I've looked at different regions. I've increased the parameters of what I'm looking for, and so I've got sort of like I've got an aviation one, covers like planes that disappeared and ghost pilots and all sorts of things in there, whatever's can sort of dig around and find out. I've got one about the oceans, about sea, ghost ships and things like that. And I might, I mean, it's kind of like looking at certain topics, because also when the algorithm looks for certain information to help me collate the book, if it's got the parameters in place, like, I don't know, highways and hitchhikers and strange hitchhikers or stories around them, or, you know, just like events, scary stuff like, you know, got all sorts of things about it, like ghosts, phantom cars and stuff on highways. Then anything to do with highways, cars, people, mysterious circumstances, paranormal and cars, all that sort of stuff will help to work towards creating the book. But things I don't mention in the criteria won't be added to it. It'll come out there. That's it. So yeah, that's a lot of fun, the books. And so the thing is with AI and stuff, if you pay for it, you get a lot more premium once you're happy with it. So this is like non-fiction writing stuff, and I thought, so I can't write a lot of fiction books or anything like that. It won't let me. However, I can put together different types of books, and so they're more. Well, the thing is, they are not all made up stuff. They're actually true stories that are out there and information. I mean, there may be an area of speculation, like you might hype up something a bit. Depends on also the style, you know, whether I want it sort of enthusiastic, creative, informative, and things like that. So I've covered all Australia, South America, India, Japan. So I've got some, that covers also people that just hide from society. Hikikomori or something. Hikikomori. aerial thing. Oh yeah, I did one on to do with caves and mines and stories about people like escaping and strange things that happened and haunted mines and where people have gone in there and they've been experienced cavers or whatever, but they've got lost in there. Well, there's been ones where people just disappeared. A big chunk of a load of miners disappeared one day. Maybe they found something they shouldn't have. So that's fun. The music, I think I've mentioned about the AI music, but I'm put that on a different channel. I just try to tell stories and feelings and stuff through that. So I'm doing a bit more, I guess a bit more like MGTOW stuff. And I might do some videos on that channel, but I'll probably close down my AI videos for a bit because I'm paying for it. I'm not producing all these videos every month, loads of them. It just gets a little bit too much sometimes. And the other thing about books, if they're too short, then I can't bring them out as paperbacks because they're not enough to them. They might have to be collated or something in the future, but then it wouldn't be the same book if I put two books into one. I'll have to look at that in the future. Alright, Pixie's signing off. Have a great one and speak to you soon. Bye.